Well, just a little boost here now for the rest of the season. You can relax about that, maybe.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's it's one of those things that as you get a little bit older, and obviously I've got a couple kids and a wife and a family and everything. It's a lot nicer going into summer knowing that I've got something for next year. Not having to go through free agency, and I've been pretty fortunate through my career of really only having to test that one time when I was the year that I went over to Europe, and so it's sometimes an uncomfortable thing for guys. You get comfortable in one situation or with an organization, and I've been pretty fortunate throughout my career, and when I had the opportunity to come back, it's my family loves it here, and obviously I've kind of found a little home here, so it's been a lot of fun. I'm super excited to be back.
What is it about the community that draws you back for what's going to be your fourth season next year? I know you're a longtime member of the Hershey Bears organization, was a captain there for a long time, but now it seems like you've put your mark on the state line community and the Rockford IceHogs. What has jumped out at you that makes you want to stay here?
You know what? I think there's a lot that goes into that, and but like I said, when you have a family and your family gets comfortable, it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I came in right away, and obviously the organization's been unbelievable. For not only myself but for my family, and that started day one. I came to Rockford on a PTO. I was given tons of opportunities. Obviously, I knew that I was coming to a young team, and a team that when I first came in, I think I led the team by 150 games, which is crazy. But at the same time, I came in on a PTO, and I was excited for that, because I came in and a lot of guys didn't know who I was, which was probably the best thing for me, and it kind of allowed me to take a step back a little bit and just play. I didn't have to worry about, not that I didn't have to worry about being a leader, because I've always been a leader, but I could take that hat off for a little bit and just kind of play my game. And I was given an opportunity to come back. Obviously, the COVID year, and we wish that would have played out a little bit differently. But like I said, for you to say that it's my fourth year, it's crazy. With that being said, I'm super excited.
Here you guys are in the playoff race, and you're playing your best hockey. You guys just look loose, like you're feeling no pressure at all. Am I reading that right, or are you guys just good at hiding it?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think for us, it's I don't want to say that we don't understand how good we are, but at the same time, it's not a bad thing. We're a young team that I think as we get going here, and we, like you said, we've put together some pretty good hockey as of late, and I still think that there's more there, and that's kind of a little bit of a scary thing is, we're so young that we don't realize how good we are yet. I think there's still spots that we can be better, and but coming into a playoff run, you want to be trending in the right direction, and for us right now, we're doing that. It's been a lot of fun.
How much growth have you seen since the start of the season? Because this is one of the youngest teams in the AHL.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because I think even the first-year players, if you want to call it that, from last year, I still think those guys are first-year players even this year. We playing 30 games or 32, what we played last year. I don't think you saw those guys really get comfortable with playing and being comfortable in the league and everything else until Christmas time. And that kind of puts them at that 60, 65 game mark, on their career. And for us right now, it's those guys are starting to come too. That's now kind of a year and a half for those guys being in the league and starting to get comfortable. So I'm excited for those young guys. You look at guys like Alti and Teps, and even like guys on the back end like Philly, Ian Mitchell, like those guys are starting to come too. Where they had a taste of the NHL, and they've been given some opportunities to play it in situations that last year they had. And so those young guys are what drive our team, and we're excited about it.
You got a nice little shiner there from Saturday's little rummage there. Besides what's going on with your eye, how nice is it to see the team come together and just have your back in that moment? Obviously, you get sucker punched, and right away, you guys are jumping in there and having your back as well.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think that's maybe one of the biggest things that a team can have. And it's not about the fighting. It's not about any of that. It's just knowing that you've got somebody that I would have done it for anybody else, and knowing that obviously I'm playing with Gabe's, and Gabe's doesn't mind doing it. But at the same time, that goes a long ways. Lucas knowing that he can go out there and do what he wants to do and not have to worry about, the repercussions of it. And, I wish, a little bit that not that it happens more, but, there's a respect factor that happens, when stuff like that happens. And, guys think twice about doing it, right? And, when you put a guy like Gabe's or Ozzy in the lineup, it's a whole different team that you're playing against. So, obviously, I said thank you to Gabe's, and for him it was water off his back. It's he enjoys it, and but at the same time for us it's a big thing moving forward.
Does that just say how close this team is really when you look at where you guys how the different ages and some of these guys are, and just how close this group is?
No, you're right, that's a testament to the group that we've got in there. We've got a really good group. This being my 11th year, I've played on numerous teams, and the teams that you have success with are the teams that kind of hang out together outside of the rink. There's a lot of teams that you punch in at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and you punch out at noon, and that's all you see. We've got a team that guys are hanging out outside the rink, whether that's getting together watch football or getting together to golf. There's stuff going on, so that's a huge part of it. You have success as a team when everybody likes each other, and that's been proven. So we're having a good time.
What can you do as a veteran now to help this team get to the playoffs and to help this young group kind of get ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, we've got guys. Obviously, look in our dressing room, we've got guys. We've got a Stanley Cup champion in our dressing room. Stance was with me in Hershey when we went to the final. So there's a lot of experience and a lot of guys to lean on, and guys that I can lean on. I've never played in a Stanley Cup championship game, and Cons has lifted the trophy. So adding those kind of guys, Ryan Stanton, Cons, having myself in there that have kind of gone through it, just letting guys know that, you lose one, it's okay. You've got a series that you can come back and if you lose the first one, Cons will be the first guy. They lost their first game in Vegas. They lift the trophy at the end of it. So, it's a game-by-game thing as you get into the playoffs, and there's nothing better than winning in the playoffs and playing in nice weather. So we're excited about it.
Kind of bringing it back around full circle now. You came into this IceHog locker room, like you said, an unknown. Guys didn't really know your experience. Now you got a captain C on. You're leaning on other members of the locker room too. You're only 30 years old, but how much do you become that man in the locker room telling war stories for a team that you kind of mentioned might be a little naive to the situation of how good they are and how good they can be?
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. There's times where you catch yourself of guys think, oh, I'm an 03, and I'm like, oh my, 03, a perfect example of that is Stance. Stance and Ian Mitchell went to the same high school, just 10 years apart, and it's awesome. They went to the same high school. They live a couple blocks away from each other in the same town. So, at the end of the day, we're all playing the same game, and for those guys to be able to lean on us, just going through the different situations and how playoff hockey is. And, it's there. I was telling somebody the other day, there's nothing better than that first game. You get your little booklet on the other team of, weaknesses and what this player likes to do and that player. And, you sit down at the start of it and you get a 20-minute video session, which is pretty long for us. And you're just breaking down the other team. So it's a great time of year. We're excited about it. And it's a great thing that we have a group in our dressing room that you can kind of lean on.
Well, to wrap it up, now you're playing 4 games in 5 days again, second round of that in the last, 3 weeks? It's almost like it's the playoffs before the playoffs. How do you approach a busy stretch knowing that every game matters where you fall in the standings, and then where the cards lie moving forward, is in your control?
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. We're able to come into a situation right now that, being at, a 10 100ths of a point or something out of third, and so that's, like you said, it's a game-to-game basis. We've got some games coming in hand on a couple of teams, and that's a great spot to be in. You want to be able to control your own fate, and right now, we do that. And so, we've got a big weekend going into Winnipeg. Hopefully, we can touch down on the ground there, and we don't get turned around. But Like I said, we've got a good situation coming down the stretch here with some tough games, and that's going into the playoffs. That's the way you want to be going.